Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we have a fun episode. We're going to be taking a look at the Glock COA, and we're going to compare it with the Glock Tallow, which is where the Aimpoint Acro is mounted from the Glock factory, and then also the Glock 19 with the Holosun MOS. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. I know, Glock, 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 Glock. That's all we ever hear about, all we ever talk about. Well, maybe not always on this channel, but we're going to take a look at three different Glocks today. So what we have here is the Glock 45, the Glock 19, and the Glock 43x. They each have different set of mounting systems for their optics, and they each have a different set of optics on them. What we have over here is the Aimpoint Acro, and it was mounted in a unique way at the Glock factory. It was cut for it. And, you know, it's great. They have a suppressor height sights on it, so you can co-witness. And this is sort of the predecessor to the new gun that's been released, and that is the Aimpoint COA, or COA, as I believe they are calling it. Now, I had just gotten this 45 with the Acro already mounted from the Glock factory, which I think is a great idea. What's unique about the Glock COA is how it has a new mounting system. It's really kind of wedged in there in at least two dimensions. So it has material over the top of a ledge here, and it has the sights that are screwed down in back. Now these sights do come like this from the factory. They're slightly higher than the traditional sights that you would get on the Glock 19 or the almost all the other Glocks. The downside is that you can't buy these Aimpoint Acro COAs from anywhere else. There's no one offering this footprint, although I do believe that all of those things will change. So for example, if you wanted to change this sight out with a different sight, no one else at the moment is offering an optic that will fit into this mounting system. And yes, this is a little bit tall and obnoxious for the Glock 43x, which you're gonna probably wanna keep as a carry gun. I probably like this MOS, this Holosun MOS dot, just a little bit better for a carry gun. It's a little bit more sleek in its design, but I certainly want to try it out. It also, just like all of these optics here, don't use any plate mounting systems. Now, I've had three optics fall off. Two of them hit me in the head, one draw blood. It's not a fun experience when the mounting system fails. So I think the new trend is going to be direct mounting optics to your slide without any plate system. Now, downsides to the Holosun MOS is that it has an internal battery that you can't replace. If it fails, you got to send it back out to Holosun. Now they claim like a 10-year or something like that lifespan. I own a couple of these SCS type systems. I've never had any of them out. They seem to retain battery and charge up pretty quickly. I've heard some issues with the Aimpoint Acro. They can lose their pressurization. It's an enclosed optic, and so there's glass in the front and glass in the back. I like that so that lint, dust, materials don't get in and obscure your optic. It has a big battery system on it over on this other side. It has a 2032 type battery system. That's also one of the cool parts about this new COA is that they also fit a 2032 battery in here. Some of the Holosun guns have smaller batteries, and I think they failed just a little bit earlier and don't last as long. The Holosun SCS has a auto brightness setting on it, and it does not have a night vision setting. You can override it temporarily to get it brighter, but that's a downside, so I'm not going to run that in my competition. So I use that gun in some of my competitions. This is a great carry gun, but again, maybe on the 43x that's a little too tall. I don't know, that's just my early impression with that. Let's do a little quasi tabletop review here. This is what we look like when we have these guns all together. You can see this 43x is a slimmer gun. You can see there is the optic for the COA in it, and you can see that you can co-witness with the sights. Again, very slim, has a little bit shorter grip than the 19 has. This is this Holosun SCS. You can see you can co-witness with the Glock factory sights in here. So you can see that the stock Glock factory sights co-witness pretty well. Again, and that has a shorter grip than this 45. And so when we take a look at this, We can co-witness with those dots. One thing, and I have some different things on these aren't great comparisons in terms of like, oh, this one shoots better than this. This has a stock trigger on here. Gonna have the TLR7 HLX. I have that on both of these because I have one holster that both of these fit in. And then this 45 is basically this Glock, but with a longer kind of 17 length grip. You can see this grip is just a little bit longer. They have the same barrel lengths, but what I have on here on both of these is the Radian Ramjet afterburners. I just love that. And I'll tell you what, I am waiting for Radian to release, and they've said they'll do it on the 43X, and so that for sure is going to go on here. And that the nice thing about these Ramjets, it makes these the same lengths as a Glock 17. That's awesome, right? So you get a Glock 17 holster, and these things fit in them. And then what will happen with this is the Glock 43X with the Radian Ramjet will fit in a Glock 48 holster. So these are some things to think about when you're looking at these three guns. Why don't we get to shooting and just do some tests and see how we do with some of our drills out here, and it should be a good time. Let's get to shooting with these. Well, first up, what we're going to do is we're going to run 5 shots with the 43X. We got a target down range at 10 yards. We're going to do accuracy. We're going to compare accuracy with these freestanding. I know, yeah, hey, trigger bar, but yeah, it's also about how you shoot the gun. This is a sample size of 1 of how well I shoot the guns. So let's see how well we can shoot. All right, we got our 5 shots. That's not bad accuracy. It's not great. All right, now we have the Glock 19. And yeah, sure, it does have a light on it, but you know, pros and cons. It does have the compensator on here. I'm not really going to do my muzzle flip video. That's not very fair. Probably do it when I get the new Radian Ramjet afterburner for the 43X. And for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, sorry, watch some of my other videos. See how we do with 5 shots from the Glock 19. That's a bit better. I wasn't exactly expecting that, but I do shoot this one very well. So pretty happy with that. Again, we're at 10 yards. We're starting to see groups spread out just a little bit from the traditional YouTube 5-yard shots. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Okay, we just shot Baby Bear, Mama Bear, and now we're going to shoot Papa Bear. I do have an SLR Rifle Works. I think that's its name, SLR1 Rifle Works magwell on here. And I do have the Glock trigger precision trigger in here. So that is a little bit of some of the differences. Again, I use this in some competitions. That's what have it, but I also conceal carry it. It conceals just fine outside the waistband. So we'll see how I shoot this gun at 10 yards. Through that one. But again, I shoot the bigger guns better than the smaller gun. Oh my gosh, the internet's melting down. How is that possible? You can get better grip on it, right? You can hardly grab these small, tiny guns, but they conceal better and they feel better to carry. That's why you carry the smaller guns. But if you can get away with it, you get the bigger guns. Yeah, that's what you do. We're out here at about 45 yards. Let's see how we do with the Glock 43X. We got 5 shots. Let's see how many shots we can get. We got 3 out of 5 on the Glock 43X. Let's see what we do with the Glock 19. We're 5 out of 5 with the Glock 19. Okay, let's see what we do with the Glock 45 at 45. I think we got 4 out of 5 if I heard that correctly. Okay, well, what we're going to try here, so we'll try a little bit of an active test here. So I have 5 on my standing tree, 6 on my standing tree targets. a hanging target, and then a small IPSC target over here on the left. I'm going to try, I have 10 rounds in each gun. We're going to see if we can get all 8 targets in 10 shots, and we'll see how fast we can do it. So we'll start on the beep, and we'll start from low ready. So here we go. And out. And so that was 10 shots, 10.48. Took me 1.60 to get to the first one, and I missed one target. There, I think my dot is not really centered. That's going to be my excuse. Okay, now we have the Glock 19, 10 rounds, 8 shots. See how quick we can do it. Okay, we did that in 8 shots in 6.83. A lot faster. A lot faster. Okay, we have the Glock 45. We'll see how we do with this. 10 rounds, 8 shots. So 8 shots, 8.58, didn't slow down much from the Glock 19, even though I had to take one more shot. First shot was 1.71, just a little bit slower. Overall time was just a little bit slower because I had to take one more shot. Had one miss. The Glock 19 wins. I have a Glock 19 comparison with this Glock 45, and I shoot them basically the same. It's just me one time versus another. All right, that's enough shooting and yapping. Let's wrap things up. Okay, well, let's wrap things up today. Today we took a look at 3 different Glocks: Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Glock 43, Glock 19, Glock 43, and Glock 45. The guns are very similar in many respects. The 43x is quite a bit more narrow, and then that makes it shootability quite a bit more difficult. And that's one of the challenges with these micro guns, and that's why you see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm going to get a micro gun because it's so awesome, and then pretty soon they go back to the Glock 19 size gun. Now that can be in the M&P or the Springfield or whatever your favorite brand is, but you see people go back to just a little bit bigger gun than these micro guns because they're not very shootable. Now, one thing that I noticed is that I think that I was able to get on target with that Glock COA faster than I could with that Holosun MOS, just because the window is a bit bigger. So even though I wasn't shooting the gun as fast, oftentimes my times to get off my first shot were faster. And I, not just blowing guns or blowing shots, I shoot when I'm able to get on target. So I think that's an interesting thing to look at. Again, we saw that size usually matters, and the bigger the gun, the easier that you can get, the more of your hand that you can get on it, the easier it is for you to control it and manage it and work with it. So we saw that in terms of accuracy at distance, up close, and then also as we were manipulating, moving around, getting the actual hits on it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you a micro carrier, or are you a compact carrier like the Glock 19? Or are you a full-size carrier like the 45? That could be in 1911. That can be in a lot of different formats. Let me know what you guys think also about these different optic choices that we have. I'm a big fan of direct mounts. I hate plates. I don't think we should be doing plates anymore. I think these are 3 different options that are very good, different sizes, different pluses and minuses with them. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
Out here in the heartland, where our spirits run free, trigger bar philosopher, it's you and me. From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best, reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crowd.